Internet family. Happy Friday. So I just have to share something, like a memory of mine and an encouragement to you guys. I'm in Sparta right now. I'm on my way to the Stone Door. Super late start for me anyways. But you know, I'm going through caffeine withdrawals among many other things, and I'm super weird today. But here I am, me and old Lou Dog here, driving through Sparta on our way to Stone Door, and I just passed the spot where one of the most, I don't know how to word it, but something that I'll never forget happened that day. It was right in the middle of the throes of my addiction, and I had my Jeep. I love my Jeep. I miss my Jeep. And it had recently been serviced by, I'm not going to name who, but someone who probably shouldn't have been servicing my vehicle, and he had forgotten to put some of the parts back on my brakes. Thank God they didn't not work. They just locked up on me in the middle of the biggest intersection in Sparta. I was taking a couple of friends to Cookeville to get a car, and my golly, you'd have thought that I was their worst enemy the way that I inconvenienced them. So that was super mortifying for me, the way that played out. They went their separate ways. I had one over here and one over, we were just waiting on someone. I was alone most of the time in the middle of that intersection, in the middle of the busiest intersection on the interstate in Sparta, waiting for several hours for a friend with a rowback car hauling trailer to come and pick me up and pick my car and me up. And meanwhile, just car after car after car after car after car passed me. People kept passing me. And I remember it was a Friday and it was evening. You can imagine how busy it would be. And it was just person after person, and the same police officer passed me multiple times and even made eye contact with me. And see, I was right there where the turning lane has this vast space between it. It's like this, you're not supposed to drive here area between the turning lane and the actual driving lane. So people were able, even though I was in the way, people were able to get around me. So I was just an inconvenience, and I was drawing a lot of attention, but I wasn't in the way enough that anyone was forced to stop and help me, and no one did for hours. And I remember that I was already pretty lost, pretty hopeless, pretty depressed. I hadn't gotten back to battling suicidal ideation at that time. It's something I struggled with before that, but I wasn't back to it, but I was close. And that day, it pushed me over the edge. It really did. And I'm not so sure that I would have made it through the rest of that day without doing something dumb and completely just giving up on life itself. That's how awful I felt. I mean, if it weren't for this lady, I never did know her name. I only met her the one time, and I never got to thank her. I did post something later on about it because it changed my life. But we stopped at I can't remember the name of the gas station. I want to say the Landing. Maybe that's the restaurant there. I don't know. It's a Shell station between Sparta and McMinnville. It's kind of by Rock Island almost. We stopped there and just wanted to get something to drink, and I just felt like dying. I may have been crying. It was the end for me. I felt so hopeless and so just in the way and like a burden, and nobody wanted me, and I didn't want myself anymore. And this woman looked at me, and I had to look crazy. I know I had to look high because I always was. And she looked at me and she said, "You have got the prettiest eyes." And she said it in a way like it was so genuine.
In half a mile, continue straight. Signs for US 70 Southwest, McMinnville.
Don't leave the highway that you're already on. Anyway, I don't know if you guys could even hear that. That was Google Maps. But this woman, she was so genuine and so sincere, and it was just so encouraging, and it literally saved my life.
Continue straight. Signs for US 70 Southwest, McMinnville.
I don't know if you guys can hear that. Again, Google Maps. But she saved my life.
Continue for 18 miles.
She saved my life, and I'll never forget her. And because of that woman, I don't think I had the same mentality I do now before that. Because of that woman now, I tell strangers all the time, I never make up a fake compliment. I never lie. But if there is one thing about you that I enjoy, one thing about you that I think is pretty great, especially if you look sad, or you look like you're having a bad day, or even if you're just angry, or anything, I'm going to tell you. I am going to tell you. I have learned to be super encouraging, because that one random woman saying something encouraging to this one random woman saved my life. one random little encouragement that literally takes you 0 time, 0 energy, 0 effort, 0 anything will do for someone else. You never know if you're saving their life, and you never know how many more people you're encouraging through them.